Hello, everybody, and welcome back to QuipScope. QuipScope. This is a show that we do on occasion when a game comes out that we've just started playing, and we want to talk about it in depth. Firstly, we'd like to say thank you to Patrick Fenn, lead producer of Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, and by extension Gearbox, for providing us with the codes for Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, which is available now on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and personal computer. I'm Ben.
I'm Peter.
I'm a big Borderlands fan, Peter.
You are.
And you're sort of a newbie, but we've both been playing Borderlands Game of the Year Edition. We're going to have a quick discussion about it.
Yeah, we are. It's exciting stuff.
What did you make of it? What are you making of it so far? We've just done a 2-hour stream together where you've been playing it for the first time, albeit in split screen. Mm-hmm. So, you know, things are a bit shrunk down. But what do you think?
Well, I've played a little bit of Borderlands 2 a while back with some friends. Literally just sort of jumped in and didn't really know what was going on, what I was doing. But I remember that being quite fun at the time. And but yeah, now that I've properly sat down and played some Borderlands in full, glorious, high definition, 4K, in fact, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's up to 4K. Obviously,
not
we
on our
weren't.
TV. No, I know.
Not on our old
but
HD.
I mean, it can go up to that.
Yeah.
Loving it, really. I think it's great. I think we were talking in the stream about looter shooters and as a genre, and I think there's a lot of satisfaction to be had. Do you know, it kind of taps in a sense, it taps into the kind of loot crate trend that is less favourably viewed, seen. You know, the idea that you're trying to...
You mean loot box?
Well, loot box.
Although loot crates are awful as well.
Oh, I don't mean... Yeah, I mean, loot crate sometimes is used as a generic term.
Right,
I don't mean loot crate as in the company who sell...
Tat boxes.
Yeah, no, I mean crates with loot in them in video games.
Yes.
Not seen as generally a very good thing, but the whole concept behind that is when a box opens up, you know, there's a big light show, and you're like, oh, is it a legendary? Ooh. And it gives you a rush of dopamine. There's a whole science behind it, and I think this is a much nicer way to enjoy that kind of rush, because you get the same thing. There's a visual spectacle. All the items, when they drop, have a little light glowing up from them from the floor.
Yeah.
And you want to run over and see what the stats are on that new weapon. So I've played some similar games with similar mechanics before, but yeah, it was nice. It was the first time I've done that in a long while. And so certainly from a gameplay perspective, it was great. And I also think it looks bloody gorgeous.
Doesn't it?
It's one of those things where, like, so again, you know, I'm familiar with the art style of the Borderlands series, but I'm sure you and other players, if they actually went back and played the original versions, they might be not necessarily disappointed, but like, oh yeah, like in my mind's eye, this looked a bit crisper, because that's just how we remember things.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Like always looking, you know, a bit sharper than they were. And then when you go back to a previous generation, you're like, oh, okay. But so this is probably the best way for a Borderlands fan to play, surely, because you've got the game as it was, but looking nicer, and with a few extras thrown in, right? I mean, you would be the best person to talk about that.
Yeah, so you've got all 4 of the DLC expansions as well, all included. And yeah, as you said, like a lot of games that have been remastered, they will obviously look way better than they used to.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking about remakes. I'm talking about the same game re-released, but with sort of a polish. But you know, it still will look a little bit dated, you know, by today's comparisons. But a game like Borderlands, when the entire thing isn't, and it's not cell shaded, as we were berated by 2 of the people who worked on it. It's not cell shaded, surprisingly. No. We think it's called inking. Is the technique used by artists to create that, and cell shading is just applying a filter, which sort of takes away from the amount of hard work that went into making it look the way it does. But because it looks like that, I always said that Borderlands, and I've always upheld that Borderlands will continue to look good pretty much forever.
Yeah.
But now it's been up-resed and upscaled and given a further polish. It looks like it could have released this year. Like there's no reason to believe that it released 10 years ago.
No, it reminds me a lot of the Telltale games. Generally, not just I don't mean Borderlands necessarily, but you know, any of them. Like The Walking Dead, for example, and that has a similar style in that, like, you do feel like it's got a timeless look about it.
Yeah.
You know. So,
although those did run quite poorly. Although from an art perspective,
Yeah, I mean,
certainly,
art-wise,
it looks
totally.
amazing.
I just mean
but
art-wise.
Borderlands runs phenomenally. We played the whole thing in split screen. We had no slowdown, no latency, at least nothing that was discernible to us.
Yeah.
But in terms of like small tweaks that they've made, they've added in the golden key chest that was in Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel, where you sort of are guaranteed 2 or more very good items out of it at a time. And if you've played previous Gearbox games and you have a save file, I think on your console, when you start it up, it detects that and says, oh, thanks for playing previous Gearbox games. It gave me 75 keys to open that chest with, which is more than enough.
Wow.
And I'm sort of, I think, approaching level, I've got to be at least approaching level 20 now, having played it for a few evenings since it came out. And I've used maybe 5 keys. Right. So I think, bearing in mind the highest trophy you can get for going up levels is 50, and you can go beyond that. But just for argument's sake, that's you're not going to need to use many of those keys per levels you're going up, really, which is very generous. They've added in the lock / junk system, where you can mark things in your inventory by either locking them so you're not allowed to sell them until you unlock them, or junk them so you can press a button to sell all of them in one go.
Oh, that's nice.
Also, when Angel speaks to you, the sort of presence that guides you through the game and helps you find the vault, she's been given an update as well, because previously she appeared almost as if she was just another person talking to you. But now it's sort of like it looks in the sequels, where it's sort of this huge effect over the top, and she's sort of taking up a lot of the screen.
And wasn't that, as we were told, partly because the old footage of her did not look good?
It was really low res,
full crisp 4K.
Right.
Therefore, they had to add filters. It's like on Doctor Who, they do that when they sometimes he'll encounter one of the old doctors, and they'll use old footage from like 1960, and so the screen that he's looking at the Doctor on has to have a lot
fuzzy.
of interference. It's like, oh, we've got getting some kind of signal here, and it's from the 60s. That's why. Yeah, it's that kind of thing.
But it's still exactly the same Borderlands you know and love. Like it's I haven't played it in so long, but I played so much of this game, and there's so much content in it as well. Like I've just had an amazing time jumping back in and playing it with my friend who I used to play it with 10 years ago. We're going through it together, and I just love what I love the most about Borderlands, I think, is honestly the class system and the character systems. Yeah. Because on the face of it, there's not much to the characters in this game. They don't have a lot of dialogue. They don't talk to NPCs. They just sort of remark on they have quips about being injured, QuipScopes about being injured. We haven't done any puns yet. No. I'm certainly not bored of the lands.
Great. That's a good one there.
Thank you. Well, that's one.
Yeah.
We can do more.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But what they do have is this brilliant independent skill tree that's totally separate from one another. They're completely different characters. They have different abilities. So you played as Mordecai, who has Bloodwing. You throw your little pet bird out into battle and do a lot of damage. Lilith is the siren, and she can phase walk, so she can sort of go invincible and run really fast. And when she comes out, there's sort of an explosion that damages people. But there are other things, like Roland has a power-up he's the soldier, and he has a power-up where he can heal his teammates by shooting them. And in the sequel, the Siren class in that has a phase lock ability where you lift people up in sort of a special bubble that everyone can then shoot. But there's a skill you can unlock where you can use that same power on your allies if they're down, and it will automatically revive them. So like from a distance, you just need to look at them, use your power up, and then they're revived. So there's so many things to it that are beyond like do plus 5% more damage with this kind of gun. There's actual skills that really make a difference to how you play with your friends, and it's all built around playing with your friends as well, as much as you can play it by yourself.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, 4-player split screen itself is a new addition, right? It used to be 2-player.
Yeah, it used to be just 2. We asked Patrick about that, the lead producer, and as he said, it was just something that they couldn't handle on the PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah, I mean, we were, like you say, we were talking about it on the stream, and I'm sure there are many reasons that it's difficult to do split screen, particularly in that sort of mid-ground generation where things were really picking up, but then sort of the hardware was almost having to catch up to the developments that were being made by the developers themselves. And one of the reasons, to my understanding, is if you're splitting the screen 4 ways, what you're effectively doing especially if they're all like looking in different directions, is rendering 4 times the world, you know?
Yeah.
That you would have to with a single screen. Like I say, I'm sure it's more nuanced than that, but you know,
everything would be massively downgraded as well.
Yeah.
Whereas, obviously, we weren't playing in 4-player split screen, but certainly playing it in actual split screen, I noticed no graphical downgrade. Again, as we said on the stream, I went looking for a keypad that I'd noticed when I was playing the other night, just because I looked at it and thought, this is actually quite incredible. Like the job they've done here, because you never pay attention to this stuff, but it's a small number pad on the wall. You go up, look at it, and you can see all the numbers on it. You can see all the letters underneath on each of the individual buttons. Like, there's so much detail, and you would never see that. And then in split screen again, that detail is still there. There's no discernible downgrade in frame rate or graphics there.
Yeah, it's impressive stuff, and it's nice as well that like people will be able to, because I love like couch co-op. You know, me and you and my girlfriend sometimes head round to yours and play Trine, which is and it's nice just to sit together, like get some dominoes, just prepare yourself for the diarrhea the next day.
Make sure you get baby wipes too.
Yeah, get the baby wipes. But you know, it's a lot of fun just to be home alone on voice chat and playing with someone else. But yeah, it's really good to be able to sit down and play split screen properly. And now you can do it with 4 people on Borderlands, not just 2.
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
And if you're looking forward to Borderlands 3, or you see the trailer and think, oh, this is something that people are talking about, I've never played that before. The Handsome Collection, which is available on PS4 and Xbox One, and I assume PC now and has been for a while, is a remaster of Borderlands 2 with all of its content, and Borderlands the pre-sequel with all of its content. So there's loads of game to play there. And now you've got Borderlands 1 as well, the original, the OG. And I'm just glad I'm able to play through all these games again, because it always baffled me why we didn't have Borderlands 1 as part of the Handsome Collection. And we were given an answer in that it was running on a very old version of the engine. It would take a lot more resources to bring it up to speed, basically, with the other 2 games. But, I missed it because I really wanted to play it. And I would have definitely started at 1 and then made my way through the others if it was included in that collection. So I'm really happy that it's now out, and everyone can give that a go if they want.
I'm the same. Like I feel like, I want to get as much into the hype for Borderlands 3 as everyone else is doing, or certainly as long-time Borderlands fans are. And I feel like I can't do that at the moment to the extent that they can, because I've not played the previous games. And while the Handsome Collection was there for me to, potentially have a go with if I wanted to, I was always thinking, I don't really want to go into 2 and the pre-sequel until I played 1. And it's a game that I missed when it first came around, just because these things happen. And now I can just play through that at home when I want to and do the Handsome Collection. I'll be all Borderlands 3 ready.
You will.
So I think it was, as much as anything else, a pretty good marketing move, probably.
Definitely
to
a
make
timely announcement. Certainly. Yeah. So, do you think you're going to keep playing it at home?
I do. I think what I'll do is actually restart, because sitting and playing a game like that when we had the game turned down quite a lot so we could talk to the guys.
Yes.
Me and you are rushing through, making sure that we're just keeping it paced well for the stream and all those kind of things.
Missing all the pop-ups telling you how to play the game and stuff.
I couldn't really hear what any of the characters were saying to me, so I don't know who anyone is. But yeah, like I'm going to go home and restart it at some point when I'm back from my jollies. And I really want to just sit down and really get to grips with it, and then move on to the rest of the series. So
awesome. And you'll be able to see that intro cutscene as well that we didn't get to load, which is
when I did the test.
It's so good with
stream.
The Cage the Elephant song on it and stuff. It's fantastic. It's iconic, I would say, one of the iconic opening sequences, just with the music, the licensed music choice. And Borderlands 2 had a similarly excellent intro as well. I remember the trailer that had Ain't No Place for No Heroes by The Heavy,
right?
Which you'd recognize if you listen to it. And they've got a history of doing really good trailers with really good licensed music. That actually carried over into Tales from the Borderlands.
Right.
Every sort of, because the way Telltale games work is every chapter or every episode will have sort of an introductory piece to the chapter or to the episode, and then they'll roll, the title sequence and stuff and the name of the episode that you're playing. And in the Borderlands ones, every episode would have a title sequence that was obviously ridiculous and over the top.
Yeah, of course.
But it would also have a piece of licensed music. Every single one had an actual song,
really?
Not an original piece of music. And that really helped add sort of a sense of authenticity to it.
Yeah.
So presumably the same thing will happen with Borderlands 3. They already picked I think a great piece of music for the announcement trailer that was just sort of like, it's ridiculous, it's over the top, and it's back, here we go.
It's almost a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of feel, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
Certain songs that you're now forever going to associate with the carnage and the colours and the art style of either Borderlands or Guardians, depending on what you're thinking about. Yeah, definitely. It's exciting stuff, and I'm looking forward to getting to grips with it properly and being able to really soak it in and not just sort of talk to 3 people at once and read chat and read questions. But yeah, it's good.
I'm looking forward to playing it again this evening. Like it's sort of just becoming a staple routine of my day. It's like, go to work, go home, do stuff, wait until friend is free, jump on Borderlands for a couple of hours before bed. Like it's great. Like it's so familiar and so comforting, but equally it's still so excellent that lots of people who never gave it a go absolutely could, and they would get a lot out of it.
That's the thing. I think it's you've done something well when not only have you satisfied someone like you who's like a long time player, and but also someone like me has sat down, played a few minutes or an hour or so of it, and thought, yeah, I really want to give this a go. Yeah. You're not just thinking, oh, I'll do this remaster, cater to our long-time audience. Hopefully they'll go back and play it. I think I can say to anyone of our audience listening that I had a great time. I want to go and play it now as someone new to the Borderlands franchise. And if anyone else is in that same position, they should probably give it a go if they can. So.
Absolutely. And couch co-op too.
Yeah.
When you do play it, let me know if you want to do some co-op together.
Yes.
Because I can come into your world with my character, or we can do the other way around. It'd probably be better if I come into your game, because it gets a bit confused with the quests sometimes if you haven't done ones. If you jump into my game, Borderlands 2 was absolutely flawless in that regard, but I think there are probably still some kind of legacy issues from Borderlands 1, like
maybe so.
These were some quite fundamental things that might not have been easy to fix. But when I jumped into people's games who were way further ahead than me and then completed quests, they would still be completed when I came back into my game, and it would get very confused when I then tried to trigger that quest for me.
Oh, I see.
So it would sometimes just get a bit messed up. So it's best to play it safe if you can. But if you've got people who want to play it with you, then the couch co-op's just it's so good. I miss games like that.
Yeah,
I miss those. And
in a weird way, it kind of reminded me. I used to play a lot of Halo 3 when I was a bit younger, and the sort of the mixture of the floaty jumps and also having a woman appear in blue on your screen and talk to you. That literally happens in Halo 3, where like Cortana covers your entire screen. It's actually very annoying in Halo 3.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
It's me.
It's much less annoying in Borderlands, but it kind of like made me think, oh yeah, this is what I used to do when I was like, optimum audience age range for these kind of games. And it's kind of made me want to go back and really, get stuck into Borderlands and try and recapture that emotion. So I'm looking forward to it very much.
Excellent. Well, as we said, Borderlands Game of the Year Edition is available now. And if you've already picked it up, or if you're thinking about picking it up, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to learn some really interesting tidbits, I found it fascinating. But as we said, after they'd gone on the stream, because the developers were there for sort of the first 40 minutes or so, it was so difficult to concentrate on playing the game, have a conversation and ask questions and then pay attention to the responses. So I'm going to have to go back and watch it again just to pick up all the stuff they said. But there were lots of interesting tidbits. We spoke to, as we said, the lead producer, but also Mikey Newman, who wrote the game and voiced Scooter, as well as performing many other duties on it too. So they had lots of insight and lots of interesting things. And if you want to learn some stuff, I'd really recommend going and watching our VOD of the live stream, which will be available on the channel. If not already, then very soon.
Yeah.
Let's keep an eye out for that. Peter, let's go play some Borderlands.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it right now.
But
we're still at work.
But
can't. No.
Well, it's just there.
Oh.
It's literally behind you. We could just go sit down.
Don't tell Adam.
I'm just gonna sit down. I'm gonna start playing it now.
Okay. Can we cut this out? Because if Adam listens, he'll know that we're playing playing games on the job.
Well, if Adam listens, then he might want to play too. And we've only got 2 controllers.
Oh. Okay, I'll go back to my desk.
I'm having loads of fun.
Adam might want to play. I'll ask Adam. Okay. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Enjoy it, Ben. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.